Hey. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another fabulous Sunday of office hours at Press Start Leadership. That's right, where I do some work but open the doors to all of you amazing press starters and let you ask any questions you may have and, just chat. Because who doesn't love just chat? That's right. I think, as it says. So we're live on Twitch, we're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube. So we'll do this for a little while. I'm just going to get through my normal morning tasks on a Sunday. And if I get through those, then we'll just call it. And then later on today, I'll be playing more Stellaris probably, because that's how I like to do it. But today is a busy day because I got to write some blogs. I got to record some podcasts that need to go live tomorrow. I've had some really great interviews this week with people, but those are spaced out. So if you want to check out the first Conversations with Christopher edition of Press Start Leadership Podcast, that is out on the podcast, wherever you can find podcasts, and also on the YouTubes as a video format, where I interview TikTok sensation for D&D, Jeremiah McCoy. Yeah, it's been getting a good response, so definitely check it out. Listen to what Jeremiah has to say about leadership, growing up a nerd, doing TikTok for D&D, and where to find the best donut in Tennessee. So yeah, and then tomorrow will be just the normal little Press Start Leadership Podcast nugget drop, probably between 5-10 minutes. So if you like those little gems of wisdom that I was supplying most of the time on the podcast, then you can find more of those tomorrow. And then the next week we'll have another special edition of Conversation with Christopher with Adam Kobler. From Protagonist Gaming, and he does really cool stuff with leadership as well, similar to me, but he has his own little twist on it, so definitely check that out. Listen to him, listen to some of his ideas, and then we'll have the following week another small nugget of info from Press Start Leadership Podcast from myself, 5-10 minutes. And then the following week will be another special guest. And then, so alternating out every other week, Conversation with Christopher. And then your regular little tidbits from me. If you haven't been checking out Press Start Leadership Podcast, you should totally do it. Because, like I said, they're like 10-minute stops and great information for beginning leaders, for long-time leaders. A lot of the feedback I get, sometimes it's common sense, but if everyone was using common sense, wouldn't need the advice. But sadly, we aren't always using that. So definitely checking that out. So as the regular followers know, what I usually do on Sunday morning is first I check how my stats are doing for social media. Not really for the vanity, though. I do get excited when the numbers are up, because who doesn't? It feels good. It's the feel-good feeling. But mostly just to see what's working, what isn't working, what I need to improve on. So actually, what I need to do, so I'm not looking too strangely at the. Oh my goodness, how am I gonna do this? There we go. How am I going to do this? You're going to take up this side of the big screen. Yeah, when I'm not worried about people looking at me, I don't really care about how big or small my windows are. And then I can click between the two and it's fine. But when I got people's, hello people's. When I got people's good morning or afternoon or evening or a super late night, and you're just getting back from, well, I guess you're not getting back from anything because it's COVID times. nothing's open, but I guess you're staying up late and you're like, what is this guy? And what is he doing? So hello, and thanks for joining. So yeah, anyway, let's take a look at some numbers, see how we did this week. I won't bore you, like I got some feedback that they didn't really care about the screen being up, so I'm just gonna chitty chat at the screen and talk about it, because again, I probably agree with you, I wouldn't really care to see a bunch of numbers either. It doesn't really mean much. Okay, so press start leadership. Oh, wrong spot. You would think I would know how to use the internet these days, but not really. All right, here's we goes. Numbers. Nope, not useful at all. All right, back to this. Googly moogly. Here we go. That's the page I need. All right, no growth. Man, that's sad. We're one away from 500 likes on Facebook, but technically I'm at 501 on. So we do have 500 people following. We have 501 people following on the Facebook page, so that's pretty good. It's not bad. As far as my numbers go, actually, everything's kind of catching up nowadays, so I guess it's hard to say anything's better than the other because I've been pretty diligent. Well, thank you, Danny, too, for liking the video. That's awesome. I'm gonna do that though. No. Don't listen to myself. All right. What's going on? Instagram. Checking out the Instagram. Good morning, good afternoon, good day. Let me know if you have any questions. Happy to answer leadership, mindfulness, and awesomeness questions while I do work. So, my work's not the most exciting. This kind of work's not the most exciting. It's just data entry. But I do like chitty-chatting with people. And, man, the purge of fake followers on Instagram has not stopped. It's quite... Oh, what the hell just happened there? Yuck. All right. Sadly, so I'm never going to see growth again. That's not true. I did see growth a couple weeks ago because I really pushed hard on Instagram, and I got the numbers back over the purge numbers, and that was awesome. But it's tricksy to do. If anybody tells you that social media is easies, you can tell them, all right, cool. How much do you charge? Because that's what I say. How much do you charge if you think the social media is easy? Because I'd much rather them do it than me do it. But I have yet to find somebody who could actually deliver on the shit that they talked about it. So, I mean, no hating, just the truth. Ain't not so easy. Twitter. Twitter's getting fun for me now. I'm starting to get in the groove of it. When I first started doing Twitter, I mean, I've had a regular Twitter account for my personal account since Twitter began, and just friends, right, mostly, and then I followed some people. Never really active on it though. Doing the business one, it's been a lot harder. It's very slow, but finally starting to find some people, find my peeps, my community. So it's been really nice. And Twitter actually does have a lot of really nice, friendly community people out there. Especially a lot of my friends have really awesome communities. I actually talked to one of them yesterday for the Conversation with Christopher podcast about their awesome community. So I'm looking forward to that one. That one won't come out for a month and a half though, but it's still pretty good. And I actually have a friend who's creating his own social media network just for gamers. And that Conversation with Christopher will be in a couple weeks as well, in a month. So lots of cool stuff on the horizons. Sooner than later, it'll be good. And hopefully you all enjoy it. But I think you will. If you give it the time. And I'm really kind of getting into the groove lately. So my interview style is on. It's getting better. The last night I totally blanked. Totally blanked during the interview. It was more humorous than sad, thankfully. So I froze in the head like a deer in the headlights, and just was like, yeah, had a moment where I was like, I don't know what I should be asking, or yeah. So anyway, growing pains. You gotta do it though. It's not gonna be perfect. Never is until it is. I guess that's the truth. Oh, I can invite 2 more people to check out Press Start Leadership on LinkedIn. I think I will. Excuse me as I take a moment to invite some people. Yeah, I know. Well, let's see who we got. Who are we going to invite? Pick a letter. Pick a letter L. Who haven't I not invited in the letter L? All right. You get an invitation? The whole thing people don't realize, it's not super easy to put yourself out there, you know? Like, if it was, everyone would be doing it, right? God, if it was easy, man, life would be so much easier, right? If we weren't just embarrassed or worried about embarrassment or how people would react or judge us and so forth. But that's really it. It's just getting over that fear, you know? No fear, no regrets, no worries. Just be you. Be a happy you. So anybody had any exciting plans for Saturday? I mean, it's like really tough to ask that question, like for the last year, you know, because like if you're playing it safe, obviously no, I don't have any exciting plans because I stayed home and I watched whatever HBO Max or Netflix or whatever put on the tube because I couldn't go to the movie theaters like I normally would with my friends. Or you're, you know, playing games or whatever, and maybe you're doing that socially with some friends or some tabletop and some D&D, which is awesome. But yeah, like doing exciting things. Can't go to restaurants most places. I guess in some places in the United States you can, but like, why? I guess you can't help it. I understand, right? Like if you can get out and you're trying to play it safe, but you know, it's just playing it safe because it's still not being safe. I hate to say it that way, but you know, like you're still putting yourself at risk until you have a shot. And even if you have a shot, you still have a couple weeks. And if you still should be wearing a mask and distancing, and there's still a chance that you might affect other people. It's crazy insanity. That's all I have to say. So I look forward to life getting to somewhat normalcy, and I don't even know what that's going to be. It's going to definitely be different than what we have now. And holy crap. I went from Pinterest just keeps growing for me. And I can't say that's like in a good way because like I have yet to see any returns on website or blog visits because of Pinterest, but my Pinterest following has grown exponentially over the last 4 weeks. So I had 11 for like a year, right? So be amazed by that. 11 Pinterest followers for a year. And then like a month ago, I jumped to 100. And then 2 weeks ago, I was at like 300. I don't even know. I'm at like close to 900 in 4 weeks. But it's Pinterest. So, yeah, I don't know. Very little value. So anyway, so, yeah. And Twitch. I still have the same number of Twitch followers as I had before. So let me double check that though. I don't think that's increased. Which is fine. I know like the games I play and the things I talk about aren't everyone's cup of tea, so no judgment there. I totally get it. Yep, same number. It's fine. Someday, some way, we'll get those numbers up, but I'm not too worried about it. This is more for fun than anything else. So, yeah. And for fun, I'll play Stellaris today and try and get that done. And then, well, I won't get done because that game seems to go on for forever. And then this week, I'm going to switch it up. I'm not going to play anymore. I'll only play Stellaris on the weekends, like I was intending to do. But I got so angry at Batman Arkham City, that I kind of rage quit. So what I'm going to do is switch to another game that I remember wanting to play and enjoying a little bit, except it scared the crap out of me, which was Dead Space. So I'm going to go back to an old classic, play through Dead Space. I actually own all three: Dead Space, Dead Space 2, Dead Space 3. The sad thing is the only reason I bought Dead Space 2 was for the special armor you could get for, I think it was Mass Effect. Yeah, for Mass Effect. I think it was Mass Effect 2 or 3. I can't remember which one. But didn't play it. Yeah, I have a lot of games in my collection that I bought but didn't play. I have a lot of books that in my collection that I have bought and not read. So it's a bad habit I have. So what I'm trying to do to, instead of buy the next game that I really want or whatever, that I probably won't play either, is pick up the games and play through the ones that I have in my back catalog that I haven't done. So Dead Space will probably be the game I'll be playing this week. And if you want to see a 43-year-old man jump scare quite a bit, come watch me play that, because I get super scared when I play those games. So that is my life. Yeah, in fact, I remember playing that game. It's over 10 years ago, because I was living in the United States. So I've been outside the United States for over 10 years now. So yeah, probably like 11, 12 years ago. And I jumped and I threw out my knee, and that would have put me at like early 30s. So a sad case of the early 30-year-old man jumping and getting scared by that game. But it's pretty cool. I remember going to a GDC, Game Developers Conference, talking about making the scariest game out there at the time. And it was really cool, them talking about the development and how they put that together. Still didn't go back to play that game though. But sort of the same way for me with Bioshock. But I actually went through, now I love Bioshock, and I play the hell out. I'll replay that game. Maybe I'll replay that one after Dead Space. I'll have to finish Dead Space, but I'll play through Bioshock again too, because that game was good fun. Good times of fun. Yeah. Have to kind of play games that are, I mean, I have a lot of the newer games too, but because I'm doing the like cheapo stream, so I'm streaming my Xbox to my Surface Pro, and then putting that on the Melon app by Streamlabs to put it through to Twitch. So if anywhere in that streaming thing there's any kind of connectivity issues, it's kind of Stellaris, which is like should not be the most intensive game in the world for anything, though I guess it could at higher levels when you build certain things. But yeah, it gets a little shaky, so I worry about like playing games like Cyberpunk or Valhalla, AC Valhalla, which I need to finish. But sitting in front of my smaller TV and playing up here in my man cave versus playing downstairs on the giant TV is not as fun. It's okay to play it here, but again, like I said, the connectivity makes it like not so exciting to play. So the sacrifices we make, and I only have so much time during the week to play games. So if I'm going to play games, I'm trying to stream so I can get more consistent and better at this and everything like that. So anyway, yeah. So what do we have this week coming up? So tomorrow you'll probably, I think there's some good nuggets in the podcast tomorrow. It's going to be like things not to do as a boss, right? So 10 things not to do as a boss, which is good. And I can't remember the other one, but it'll be two bits, much like most of the podcasts. So that'll be pretty good. And then on Friday, you're either going to get how to ask for a raise, talking about money, or how to have empathy. Yeah, walk in the shoes of a monkey. That's right. So I think those are good. I really enjoy those. And then today I need to brainstorm on the next two, so that I can get those ready and out. But those will probably be about blame versus solution culture. How I've encountered both in my career, and I think you really need to be more solution focused than blame focused as a culture. And it's very telling about how you operate and how your leadership is set up and everything based off that. And then the other one was freaking Golden Dynamite 2. Why can't I remember what these things are? I swear I'm a genius, but my memory's going shot these days. Anyway, that one will be Oh, and how to raise unicorns. Yeah, how to bring out the awesome in people. That'll be a good one too. Because one of my favorite things as a leader is finding people who are outstanding but might not believe in themselves or know how awesome they are. And helping them find their awesomeness and reach new goals and new levels of success. So, yeah, we're going to talk about unicorn training because those people are the bestesses. All right, let's see how we did last week on the website. Don't actually really know. I used to pay a lot of attention and do this daily, and that wasn't really healthy, I don't think. So kind of just taking there we go. 62. All right. Well, it's not any better when you do it weekly and the number's low. All right. So April's kind of not as good as, man, my months are going down. I need to find something new and sparkly for people to come to my website for. Because what I'm doing is not working. I say that, but it's still above average for the year. I gotta be careful when I get down on it, because I had a couple strange outlier months where I was getting a lot of traffic, and then this month is kind of sucking. Never mind, I'm gonna stick to it. This month sucks. All right, so there's that. Okay, podcast numbers. Let's take a look at that. Let's see how my new favorite thing is going for me. Gotta look at the time too. All right. Gonna have a sip of my cappuccino. Cappuccino. All right, podcast. Total podcast outlets. All right. So last week we had 738, but we crushed it and got to 750, which is like a little milestone on Buzzsprout, which is nice. Next one's at 1,000. So we got that one, and now we're up to 771. So we had a 4% increase. Nice. Still not as good as it's been in the past. That's going down too. Tell your friends about the Press Start Leadership Podcast. It's awesome. I feel like the only time I really get the numbers up is when I'm like hounding people, but that just feels intrusive. But I guess self-promotion, you just gotta do it. Do it. All right. 124, 89. I mean, there were more listens, that's for sure. Here and there. You know, they say the trick to getting podcast listeners is to get on somebody else's podcast and take their listeners, or get their listeners. I guess you're not taking them because, you know, there's time. But win them over. Get some of their listeners, right? That's how you get exposure. Because obviously if they're listening to one podcast, they'll listen to another podcast. So that's, and, you know, there's sound logic in that. It's just, yeah, it's like you don't want to pay attention to analytics, but you need to pay attention to analytics because they tell you stuff, but they don't tell you everything. So it's tricksy business. Working in video games, numbers are important, especially like, yeah, post-launch numbers, and seeing that, and like, you know, taking a look at like if you do any kind of promotion or anything like that, being like, oh man, you gotta be careful. Like, you don't want to do a ton of promotion all over in different places if you can't track where the sources for some of this stuff is, because then you won't know what worked. Thankfully, I do have Google Analytics, so I'm pretty in touch with what my stuff is doing. All right, adding a new one, episode 17. The episode with my good friend Jeremiah McCoy. It was a good one. It was a fun one. So, nope, that's not what I want. Bottom. steal that. Paste that there. I know you're like, what the hell is he talking about? I can't see anything. Don't worry. It's magic anyway. So, not good a kickoff as last week's episode. 18 downloads this week for the first one. 21 from last week's, but better than 2 weeks ago. Better than 3 weeks ago. Better than... It's in line with where I was about 7 episodes ago. So, alright. Well, at least I have my consistent listeners. The folks that tune in or whatever. You know, I'm on the charts in Malta, so... Yeah, thank you to the... I think it only takes one person in Malta actually to listen to my podcast to put me on the charts. So I appreciate that. So if 2 people in Malta listen to me, I'd be number 1, I bet, in Malta. So, and that's most excellent. And I appreciate that a lot. A lot. All right, let's see how many followers do I have in the YouTubes this week. Chicka chicka boom boom, chicka boom boom, chicka boom boom now. Hopefully, let me know if the sound is like horrible on your side. I can't ever tell. Like I use the wave system and I'm actually listening to it the way you should be hearing it. So I hope it's low enough, but maybe we'll see. So. But these stream beats, some nice copyright-free musics to listen to as we jam along. All right. Crap, I don't remember where we're at. 49. We go back. 50. But I didn't start this right at the beginning, so I'm gonna go with 49. Assume we're on week 49 for this. Maybe we're on week 50, so in like 2 weeks it'll be 1 year of being doing Press Start Leadership. That's pretty cool. Maybe I should do something special for it. 1 year Press Start Leadership. Yeah, maybe I should. I'll have to think about that. Think about it. Yeah, something nice. Something nice. All right. Well, what else should I work on? Not a chatty bunch this morning. Well, maybe I should pick. Let me look at some other stats. Oh, I could look at missing letter real fast. So, if you don't use missing letter, if you're a blogger or podcaster or a YouTuber, I might recommend missing letter for you. If you don't already have like an extensive channel of people following you and telling you how awesome you are all the time, which may be true, for you. It is not true for me. So, what I like to do is use this program called Missing Letter, which basically takes a blog or podcast or YouTube post and it drips. There's a drip campaign. So basically the first day, 3 days, 7 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year later. And keeps it popping up so people go back and check it out. And that's cool. That one's cool. And that's what I bought it for originally. But then they had this other thing called Curate, which is super awesome. And I say that I'm not an affiliate with this, though maybe I should be because how much I love it. Yeah. Ooh, excuse me. So what it does is I can then take those posts and I can share them with other people and put in this little library where they pull the posts and they share it in other places. And so I can look and see how many people have my post scheduled. So which has been really good for me lately. It's been going really, really well. Though the shares are high, the clicks are low. So I'm not getting, I don't know. Strangely enough, people are actually checking out the YouTube video with me, Jeremiah McCoy, but the numbers aren't showing that, I don't think. If I look later show. at some numbers because I've never really looked at the numbers there. Maybe I should. I've only been doing this for like a month on YouTube, so when I say I haven't been looking at the numbers, it's just because. All right. So I have 19 subscribers. That's fine. 7 views of this one. Impressions. Average view duration 41 seconds. 41 seconds. Wow, I know. That's not good. But whatever. We're just starting to get our feet wet. So some of these would be good. Some of these would be meh. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully it'll get better. I'm sure it will. I'm sure it'll be fantabulous. Anyway, I probably should do, as I was saying earlier, I'm doing pretty well on Pinterest. So maybe I'll make another Pinterest story. Just gotta figure out which article I should do. So I'm just looking at missing letter tells me if other people like it, and then if other people click on it. So my blog post yesterday, the importance of uncomfortable conversations, actually got scheduled quite a bit, which is nice. So has a simple guide to getting your ideas off the ground. Maybe, I don't know. What should I work on? Yeah, I don't have a podcast ready to do a headliner like I did last week. So I might just have to call it early today. It's 30 minutes. That's fine. So no questions this week, which is okie dokie. I always have questions. Maybe I should just make up just have a fake audience member throw me questions, and I'll just answer those, and then I'll fake it. But it just seems lame. I'd rather have sincere questions for people. So, yeah. All right. Well, that's it for this week. I think. Thank you so much if you joined in, even for just a little bit. It was great for you to be here. And I look forward to seeing you next week for office hours. And if you think of any questions, bring them by. Or if you can't make it, send them over. Christopher@pressstartleadership.com, or send me a direct message in any of the social media that I'm at, which is Press Start Leadership everywhere except for Twitter. Press Start Lead 1. So anyway, till next time, awesome folks.